Yeah, yeah, and yeah, so like, yeah, it doesn't make sense. What does death feel like when yourself doesn't die? It's only your mind that
It
dies.
doesn't die. I wish it died because believe me, what, yeah, it doesn't. Your mind doesn't die. All right, that's a misconception. You're just trying to quiet the mind. So, and there's many. Let me just go through like 2 or 3 different ways that people do this. One of them, first you use your breath to just calm things down. Yeah, let's do it a little bit. Okay, I'll guide you a little bit. Sit up straight. Let your shoulders relax. Relax the muscles in your face. Give them a little workout. And now just relax everything. Now, you'll notice that the space of your mind does not have a limit to it unless you think one. So that car horn that honked there in India. The dog, man? I miss the dog, by the way. Okay, so the memory of the dog, the car horn, a slight the feeling of wind on the face, the movement of air across the nostrils, the movement of the diaphragm, the pressure on the buttocks or on the feet as gravity presses them against the chair and the floor. You can do an inventory of the content in your mind. And in the beginning, you think that thoughts and words are different than thoughts of pressure or temperature or movement or birds or trees, but actually when you examine those more closely, I love it. India goes dead silent when I'm hoping so much for a sound. So I can show you, right? But here's my voice. That's a sound. So in this vast expanse of your mind, in addition to the sensations on your feet and the breath and the air and the random noise, there's a sound of a voice coming out of a speaker. And now once the mind is calm, this is like a backhand in tennis. It takes practice, but pretty soon you'll be able to slow your thoughts way, way, way down, the verbal ones. And so you slow the thoughts down, and again, it's like a glass of muddy water. If you just let it sit, don't move it, just let it be. Eventually, the mud and the dirt will settle all to the bottom, and the water will be clear. And so it's true that thoughts and emotions block more subtle perception. That's why we want to put them to the side. That's why we want to slow them down. And now we'll get into some more technical things. Some people say that you should increase the space between the thoughts. So that's one technique. Another technique, take your thoughts and exhale them with a breath. Just exhale all the thoughts through your nostrils. This is the power of magical thinking or creative thinking or free thinking. Your mind is much, much, much more powerful than what you imagine. So you can take all the thoughts and just breathe them out. If thoughts continue to bother you, then just use better thoughts. You can use Sanskrit mantras. There's a bunch of beautiful, beautiful, ancient, and the vibrations are themselves tuned, so you can use mantras in whatever language you choose, and you can, the vibrations, it both fills the mind and it creates a vibration and culls energy, and it's very nice. So you can use mantra if you can't, if the thoughts are a problem, or you can use sutra. And not only are you don't have to worry about your thoughts anymore, because the thoughts are being supplied to you by the sutra, by the book. And so you let the book do the talking. Maybe you're chanting it out loud. That would be best, if possible, depending on the sutra or the text or the holy book. In some cases you don't read it loud. In other cases you do. So that's another way to like occupy the mind with something other than the same old egoic trash that tends to fill us up. Either ruminations about the past, fantasizing about the future, and missing the present altogether. And so all of these, the goal and the method and the action is all only in that little sliver. And this would be a great contemplation. Where is the present, and how long is it really? All right. So but all the action is in the present. So those are 3 different methods, and there's another, 780 where those came from, at least. Okay, so you got to try things out for yourself, and see what works for you. And something that doesn't work for you now, I'm speaking from experience, it doesn't work for you now, but it will work for you later. Or it works for you now, but it's not going to be any good later, right? So that's why we want to build foundational practices, and get you familiar with foundational books, right? With the information that through the ages, people have found this helpful. If a book's been around for 2,000 years or 1,500 years, the chances are the people have found something useful in it, right? And that's why some books are considered sacred. That's not the only reason. Some of them are, inspired, and there's no other way to explain how, say, for example, Moses got the commandments, and he even says, hey, it wasn't me, or how Muhammad was able to write the Quran. And there's thousands of examples, I'm sure, in India of these things that are not really explicable with our current conceptualizations. And then when you realize that no one's going to answer the question about reincarnation for you, you're going to have to answer it for yourself, right? Because if you're going to trust somebody else's opinion with your immortal soul, right, then you shouldn't be in this business. You shouldn't be involved in this stuff, because it's way too important. Do you see what I'm saying? And can you see why I don't want you to adopt any of my beliefs, opinions, and I point out a lot of different methods, but the method is nothing, right? It's the union with God, with it would be Atman or Krishna, or so that union or that communion or that's possible in your lifetime, and it's, as far as I'm concerned, everybody should do it. But to do that requires sincerity, and mainly sincerity, right?
I think it's...
And don't underestimate prayer.
harder.
Don't underestimate prayer. And we'll talk about prayer and how it works and what it is later. Go ahead.
But I was thinking, it's a bit harder to do it in this